Fight Net Radio. You know what, Andrew? I always do the intro. Andrew, you do the intro.
No, this is not the week to do that one.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Honish, Andrew Lapachet, bringing you the wonderful world of boxing. Andrew is a writer. I am a skeptic, a critic, an entertainment whore, and generally an asshole.
You just said I sounded tired, and then you asked me to open the show up.
Well, dude, you have a real job, all right? I don't have a real job. You do. And so I shouldn't ever sound tired. I should be happy to wake up every day and go, fuck, I don't really have to work. It's assholes like me that give guys who have real jobs like you a bad name. I mean, that's kind of my feeling on the topic, but I digress. I don't wake up at 3 a.m. I don't wake up at 3 a.m. if there's an intruder. I mean, somebody's breaking into my house at 3 a.m. I'm going to send a note outside. They should come back at a reasonable hour. I digress. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. We talk about boxing on this show. Visit us at fightnetradio.com. There you will find a jump-off point for our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and broadcast platforms around the world. You can also sign up there for updates and you can send us email. You can do all kinds of wonderful stuff. I don't think I've added an email link, but I can do that. I don't think any of you are actually going to send us emails. I think Picaro's the only one who ever sent us emails. The rest seem to go to Facebook where they interact, and we had quite an interaction last night. Part of the crowd was watching Showtime, and Bobby and I were watching UFC. What a weird UFC. But I digress.
John Jones, was that his fight last night?
John Jones fought and won.
Hey,
Tyrone Woodley lost his title. And the fight I cared the most about, being a guy who is a grappler, Andrew, Ben Askren, who you've probably never heard of, who is a major D1 wrestler, major jiu-jitsu guy, won his fight against ruthless Robbie Lawler, who literally beat the shit out of him for 30 seconds, like to the point where, well, this fight's over. That was disappointing. And somehow Ben got out of it and then twisted the dude up on the cage and choked him out.
Nice.
It was a pretty spectacular single fight. The rest of the card was pretty lackluster. And there's your UFC update. We're going to talk about boxing on this show. That's what Fight Net Radio's core element is. That's how we started 12 years ago. That's what we still talk about to this day. So Andrew and I will review all the stories that are pertinent. We will be using Boxing Scene today for our information. Why? Because I was super lazy this morning and just went to the Boxing Scene timeline on Facebook and kept copying stories. So there you go. First off, let's review all the past fights of the past week before we get to this week's news story. Right out of the gate on Telemundo, Ricardo Espinosa halts Ricardo Nunez in 10. Andrew, can you believe that? Ricardo Espinosa hasn't known the feeling of fighting beyond 4 rounds in more than 16 months, nor has he gone beyond 8 rounds literally in his career. Can you believe that shit, Andrew?
Nope.
Well, there you go. Suffice it to say, Friday's clash with Panama's Ricardo Nunez marked the night of new experiences for the 21-year-old banger from Tijuana, Mexico, but one where he'd keep his knockout streak alive. Are you excited? Are you excited about Ricardo Espinosa?
What's his record? I don't know. How old?
I don't know. We're doing a left tackle show today.
He's
it's your job to keep up on this shit, dude.
Oh, dude,
No?
21, no. 29 and 9? No, I don't like that. Who's
All right.
29 and 9? Pass.
I don't know. He got one article. He got one article about. I'm trying to be like the real boxing shows that get Bob Arum.
Hey, was this Telemundo? What was it? What was it on?
Nice. Telemundo.
Oh, it was probably a good fight.
Telemundo. Say it right, Andrew. Telemundo. Como sábado gigante. There are shows I watch on that channel that would be criminal in English. And by the way, they run literally.
What are you doing today? Norway? We got a story from Norway.
Kai Kai Robin, Andrew. Havana blasts out Rad Rashid to claim the IBO strap. Can you believe that? Norway cruiserweight Kai Robin, Havana, 14-0, knocked out German Rad Rashid.
His parents were cool, huh? They named him Rad.
I just like the names, dude. This made the list literally because of the names. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody cares about the IBO. Look at this dude.
Yeah, he's rad.
He is rad. No, that's Kai. That's Kai.
Oh, man.
Kai Havana. Kai Havana took on Rad Rashid in Norway. Anybody catch that? Send us your comments at facebook.com. There we go. All right, let's move on to fights that actually happened on Saturday. Keith Idec covered the scene for Showtime. Edwin Rodriguez buzzed Durable Williams to win a decision. Edwin Rodriguez didn't produce a pretty performance in his first fight in over a year. The one-time super middleweight champion challenger did defeat Mitch Williams on Saturday.
One-time super middleweight championship challenger? All right, fuck it, whatever.
What I like to call the show opener for Showtime. This is what was happening to people who paid money in Brooklyn, Andrew. All right, do you think we should get behind Edwin Rodriguez?
I think the boxing world once was. He didn't develop. So now he's described as the one-time super middleweight championship challenger. Woo.
Here's the really interesting part. Nowhere in my memory can I ever remember us discussing Edwin Rodriguez.
Yeah, I believe he even fought Ward, didn't he? Better look up Mr. Edwin Rodriguez.
Wow, he's getting additional time in this, what I call a parody section of reviewing shitty fights.
What happened here? Did he win? Did he win this fight?
Yeah, he beat Williams. He buzzed him. Williams also clipped Rodriguez with a counter left just midway mark of the 8th round. Several seconds later, Rodriguez and Williams got tangled up, and Williams went down to the canvas. They continued trading hard shots over the final minute of that round. Williams finished the fight strong, left Rodriguez holding at times during the 10th round. There you go.
La Bombas, what they used to call them. 31-2-29. Not a bad record. But yes, Andre Ward did beat him in 2013 by unanimous decision, Lee.
That explains why he looks like somebody's dad.
Yeah, and then he was knocked out in 2 rounds in 2016. Kind of been irrelevant. Kind of went into the PBC 3 fights the next 3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
Getting paid, Andrew.
So he's been fighting once a year. Damn. That sucks.
Dad bod.
He has a decent record. He probably could have made it one more run at this thing with the record. He only has 2 defeats, Lee. You could get some money with that.
Filipino John Disaster Jamino, 19-11-1 with 9 KOs, connected with a wild left hook on Carlos Chinito Ornelas, 23-2, to effectively knock him out 42 seconds of the 7th round in the Tijuana Event Center this past weekend, Andrew.
That was a fix.
You think?
No, I'm just kidding. No, but
I'm trying to be a real boxing show, Andrew.
19-11.
Yeah, 19-11, bro.
The kid in Tijuana. That's better get him out of the stadium fast, the arena fast. Do you think anyone in that arena? Go back to it. You're not even on the story. Is that the story?
Well, no, I already dropped the story, dude, because it was that bad. I'm just trying to hack my way through past results. That's what they do on real boxing shows, Andrew.
All right. Well, that was a bad one. 19-11. You never want to lose to a guy who's 19-11.
There you go. No. That takes us to the Showtime opener while Andrew was still awake last night and texting. Showtime put on a triple header for all of us before Andrew passed out in the middle of Luis Ortiz. And I entertained the troops on Fight Facebook on the chat room. And then Bobby Capucci came along and we scared away all the boxing guys. Eduardo Ramirez shocks Brian De Gracia by knockout. In the telecast opener, Eduardo Ramirez, 23-1-3, 9 KOs, caught Brian De Gracia, 24-2-1, with a vicious right uppercut in the 9th round, stunning his opponent and suddenly breaking open a close fight. Ramirez pounced on the dazed
I thought you would say breaking open a can of whoop ass.
and unleashed a wave of punches which forced referee Benji Estevez
to go down
at 2:10 of round number 9. Andrew, you were awake for this fight. Take me through it. Let me do my Mauro Ranallo. Wait, hold on. I feel we have Andrew. This is Mauro. Take me through it. Mo.
They missed one. I thought all the commentators missed one on this fight. Ramirez did an excellent job of having patience, waiting. He was the better boxer, better counter puncher. Garcia was face first the whole fight, missing a lot, missing big shots, heavy shots. I kept telling myself this kid is not going to go 12 rounds. He just can't do it like that, Lee. You're constantly getting countered after you're missing one of your power punches. You're going to get tired. And I thought that's what happened there in the 9th round. Finally, the kid with only, 8 knockouts coming into the fight, rocks you with an uppercut. I think he was dead tired going into that round. I had a big reason why he lost that fight. It was a good fight, excellent. I just didn't see why Paulie or any of them, I didn't really hear them hitting on that. They kept talking about the aggression instead of Garcia. What's his last name?
De Gracia.
Yeah. There you go. They kept talking about his aggression, and really what the fight was not about that, because he missed a lot of punches, and the counter punching of Ramirez is what ultimately paid off more, and you could see it early. It was.
Yeah, you definitely can. And hey, if you want to watch this video, go to fightnetradio.com, click on the YouTube page. You can watch this episode. I've decided this week that I'm going to try to break down each story with video instead of one long show, so it's a little more palatable. So you can definitely check out the photos. Go to fightnetradio.com, click on YouTube, and you can see the video from this fight and or the photos from this fight. I'm trying to stay out of YouTube jail this week, Andrew.
Nice. They changed their rules. It was weird. This De Gracia, he took the fight with only 2 weeks' notice and had a good record. He only had one loss. He was like 24-1-20, I believe, coming into this fight. Weird that his handlers would do that to him. I know he was from, where was he from? Argentina, right?
Yeah,
I believe, he's from Argentina. So maybe the record was all padded, but definitely seemed like he was on the upside of his career to throw him in with someone with a decent record in only 2 weeks.
Yeah, it is very weird.
Right.
That was the Showtime opener, and then you fell asleep.
Oh, well, you stop. I watched a little bit, and I went back this morning. I watched it again. It's a boring fight.
Co-main event of the evening, Luis Ortiz takes on the Hammer. The Hammer. We're only going to remember him as the German Hammer. Barclays Center, New York. Cuban heavyweight contender. That's a stretch. Luis Ortiz won his bout, taking a lopsided unanimous decision over Christina Hammer. Same person, right? That's a great joke that really you just blew right by. I'm really disappointed. Christina Hammer in a 10th round. She looks like Clarissa Shields. Luis Ortiz could be, Clarissa Shields, kind of, right?
Now, why is he the Cuban heavyweight? What did they name this guy the German heavyweight? No.
Yeah, well, no.
Why isn't he?
Wait, it's the Cuban versus the white guy. And for the people of Brooklyn, it's a black guy versus a white guy. I mean, nobody wants to say it. I just had this discussion yesterday. Look, if I'm booking fights,
I wasn't trying to go there with it. I'm just pointing out, why does it have to say Cuban heavyweight contender
against the Nazi, Andrew? Christian Hammer, the
just
Nazi.
Put Christian Hammer. Why isn't he the German heavyweight contender?
Right? Would it not? Because Showtime is racist as well as toxic. That was the funniest thing. Literally the funniest thing on Facebook last night with Javier, one of our FNR regulars, and Callie King. Javier's like, Why is Luis's this is what he kept saying. Why does Luis's interpreter have an accent? That's what Callie would write, right? And then Javier Jurado would write back, because Showtime's racist. And this just kept going on all night. So it became like the running joke that Showtime is just racist. So
the running joke should have been, though, you know it. What the hell? Who's the favorite fighter of the Wu-Tang Clan? What's his name? Raycon? Is that
the Canelo thing? I like the Canelo thing.
He said Canelo. Yeah.
No, he didn't even say the Canelo. He said the Canelo thing.
The Canelo guy.
Canelo guy. Right.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Way to go, Showtime.
Yeah. What the fuck,
Showtime? You don't have. Couldn't you have given him a fucking flashcard?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Deontay's not calling in to talk about the fight. Instead, we have a piece about the Wu-Tang Clan. Right. Over to you. Thanks, Mo. I'm sitting here talking about the Wu-Tang Clan in the middle of a fight.
He tries to name them all. Yeah, it was cute. It was so cute.
Ortiz won every round on the scorecard and all but one on the other two. Ortiz bloodied Hammer's nose because Hammer is a Nazi sympathizer.
No. He was born in Romania, though. He just
Shut up.
To Germany. Yeah, I know.
With the narrative that Showtime
don't call him a Nazi, man.
Ortiz is very good and an experienced fighter. He's technical and smart, but he's
Romanian.
Not.
There you go.
He's not intimidated as people say he is. I respect Ortiz, but I think he's the best fighter I've ever faced, said Hammer, who has faced other top boxers like Tyson Fury and Alexander Povetkin. Hammer was proud of his accomplishment for going the full distance and being a punching bag. I'm very confident going forward. I know I can go the distance with anyone. That's not a call. Fuck, is this really his comments? I'm very confident going forward. I know that I can go the distance with anyone, and I'm willing to fight anyone. People thought I'd get knocked out, but I proved them wrong. And that should say, for immediate booking for your heavyweight to go the distance, please contact the Nazi.
If you want to be the first man to knock him out, please call.
All right, I'm going to wear a Nazi outfit to the ring, so if you want to put me in with any race. He's a Nazi. Hate the white people, Andrew. Hate. So what round did you actually fall asleep in?
Probably the 5th or 6th. You know, you called it right. He has a great nickname, the Hammer, right? Because the dude only really has a right hand. That's why they call him the Hammer. Ortiz is so damn old now. He only throws a straight left. So it was like the battle of two hammers in there. Very boring fight. Maybe a jab, then one punch, and then they were hugging, they were moving. There was nothing else. There was no combinations being thrown. You guys watch the end of the fight. Every fucking highlight they had is one punch. Ortiz is never going to beat any of the top heavyweights like this. Hammer, even though he says he can go the distance with anyone, he has been stopped. Tyson Fury stopped him. So I don't see him making a presence back in the heavyweight division. For Ortiz, kind of weird he called out Joshua. Anyone catch that? He did not call out Deontay Wilder.
Right, because Deontay's busy getting the Brazil rap all squared away with the WBC.
We hope. Or not even we hope. That's what they hope. I don't know what's going on, but I'm telling you, if I'm Showtime and I'm Espinosa, I'm a little bit nervous about your boy wasn't even in the house last night. Okay, that was at the Barclays Center where we know Deontay Wilder shows up to almost all fights, right? They all got ringside seats. They can be there. Now, maybe Lara just didn't want to bring him out. But if I was Espinosa, I think that I'm pushing a little bit harder to get Wilder into the building to show the boxing world that he's going nowhere. I do got to say, it throws up a little bit of a red flag that Deontay Wilder was not in that house last night. Espinosa could not have slept well knowing that.
So I'm going to give you my feeling on what Steven Espinosa should have been doing yesterday. Shopping his resume.
Mm-hmm.
Because Showtime is not long for this world if this is the shit they're putting out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm being kind of harsh. Have you rewatched the main event before we get into it?
Yes, I did.
It wasn't horrible. I mean, you had to tolerate the first 5 rounds to get to an interesting fight, but this shouldn't have been a competitive fight for Lara in the main event. Like, I'm fairly certain this was designed for Lara to get a title.
Lara and Ortiz should have both had easier victories last night. Ortiz got his victory, but I thought he should have stopped the hammer. You know, when throw a fucking combo. Hey, Lee, is it just me? Or every time Christian Hammer either got punched or threw a punch, it was like he was dying of breath. He had no air after. Go after him. Put the gas on him. Let's see what happens when you throw 4 or 5 blows, especially he takes a knee. That's why Tyson Fury beat him. Tyson throws combos. This guy, he's called the Hammer for a reason.
Yeah, no, he threw, and he actually buzzed Ortiz a couple of times, but not enough to slow down that fucking whale of a human who looked juiced to the gills. That was another
chiseled. Yeah.
A debate. There was literally a debate in the Fight Net Radio group chat last night about whether or not Ortiz was juiced. I said juiced is kind of strong. I mean, he might have eaten some Mexican cattle, but he looked good for him.
He looked a little chiseled for 39 years old. I will admit that. Yes, he did.
It was not a dad bod for sure. Which takes us to our main event of the evening. It's Showtime on Showtime. How redundant is it for him to say it's Showtime on Showtime?
Like
12 rounds.
Nobody cared for Lara in the PBC. He's got no love.
Lara takes on Brian Castano in the Barclays Center. And Lara gets a huge gift, in my humble opinion. This coming to us from Boxing Scene, as always. If you want to see the photos or videos, go to fightnetradio.com. Check out the video. Check out the audio. Here we go. Barclays Center, New York. Brian Castano retained his WBA regular 154-pound title Saturday night when he and former champion Araceli Lara fought to a split decision. We'll get to it. Judges Kevin Morgan had it 115-113 for Castano, and John McHale had it 115-113 for Lara. Julie Letterman, who can be bought for the right price and can be reached at julieletterman.com. How is she still, like, why is she always the one at the middle of the controversy, Andrew? Always.
There was some close rounds. I mean, come on. It's all the judges.
Julie Letterman historically has been at the middle of every controversial call ever.
In this fight, though, I mean, those are some pretty close cards, Lee. 15-13 twice and 14-14 is, I mean, that's just a close fight. That's all it is.
114, Julie Letterman. And if you don't know who she is, she's the daughter of Harold Letterman. And there you go. Is she hot? She is not. There you go. Julie Letterman, who looks just like her dad, scored the fight 114-114 for the split draw, which got plenty of boos from all 7,000 people. You couldn't really hear it because it was 7,000 people inside an 18,000-seat arena. But hey,
they were walking out as they booed too.
Lara, who is now 25-3-3, was trying to regain a title after a longtime champion had lost his belt by split. The longtime champion had lost his belt by split decision to Jared Hurd last April in Las Vegas. I feel like I was at that fight, Andrew. Like that one and many other fights, this one was too close to call in almost every round, with Castano 15-0-1, pressuring Lara around the ring, throwing more punches, but Lara coming back with precise left hands. Castano kept his hands high and was able to block many of Lara's lefts early in the fight, but the veteran began getting them through the guard more often as the fight went on. Lara lost to Hurd, was a Thriller awarded Fight of the Year in 2018, but he looked old at the end of it, getting knocked down in the final round and ultimately costing him the fight. But he held on to this one till the end, though Castano won the final 3 rounds on all 3 of the scorecards. The champion was frustrated afterwards, believing his aggressiveness should have won him the fight. He outlanded Lara and was credited with throwing 668 punches to Lara's 301. I mean, that kind of says it all. Ultimately, the fight came back.
Wait. But Lee, go back up. You missed the sentence. But he only landed 78
more.
So
yeah.
Oh, 78 more. Well,
more.
then they need to put how many he actually landed at 600.
Right.
Because if you know,
I was
that's
watching this as the same time as the UFC. I had two screens up on my computer here. So I will say this. It got interesting around round 6. That's about where I thought it got interesting. And from round 6 forward, it's the tale of two different stories. Like Lara wanted him out early and seemed to pressure there. And then he settled down around the 5th, 6th round. And Castaño, who was younger with better legs, was going to take this into the deep water. And I was impressed with Castaño. I don't think anybody realized that a kid this young in his career who really hasn't fought, you know, I'll say Lara is A-B level talent, right? I don't think he's elite level talent, but he's definitely towards the top, right?
of course.
Castaño came and he went to town. I mean, this just moves Castaño's stock up, certainly. Andrew, take me through the fight that you saw.
Kind of what you just said. First 5 rounds, maybe 3-2 Lara. But at the end, I thought Lara lost this fight. It's weird that all 3 judges had Castano winning the last 3 and didn't give him the victory. That
Right.
didn't give him the victory alone. That means they had him significantly down going into the 9th or 10th, the 10th round. So that's kind of shocking because I didn't. I had it a very close fight going into the last 3, and then it's like, well, it looks like he won this. He takes them. Last 3 rounds. That should have pulled him ahead of a very close first 9 rounds. So, yeah, I don't agree with the scorecards at all. I don't know how Lara pulled that one out. Not that impressed with either guy. Lara just looks like he's getting old, just like Showtime said. A lot of years on him when you add in the amateur run that he had. Castano won on purely age. Just throwing a lot more punches, being more aggressive. At the end, it worked. He finally wore Lara down to the point where Lara was trying to survive. So now, does PBC rematch this thing 9 months from now? Who knows?
Oh, who wants to see that?
Yeah, exactly. Lee, I was going to say that too. There was a lot of people booing during this fight. So I don't know if Al Heyman really wants to, at some point, sometimes you just want to get the belts, the star power away from these fighters like Lara. Sucks because he is one of the best, but they don't have a fan favorite style. They don't have a fan base. So it's very hard to have this guy stay in the top tier of the division. When you have Hurd beat him now, you had Castano, yeah, you can say it was a draw, it was a close fight, but seeing how that all 3 judges gave him the 3 last rounds, now it seems very hard that he didn't get out of there with the victory. So, but whatever the case, then maybe they just move on. He needs a lot of work though. I don't think he's ready for Hurd or Munguia or any of he shouldn't unify or anything like that right now. Still very green. And really, he won just on age and being able to throw more punches than Lara. I think if Lara was a little bit younger, this would have been a mismatch. And matter of fact, and I'll say that for both fights, Ortiz and Lara both showed their age last night.
There you go. And that takes us through all of your boxing reviews. Hey, visit Fight Net Radio where you can get audio and video and all your up-to-date news. Visit our Facebook page. Like us, share it, get people involved. We're trying to grow the brand, as they say in the business. Also, I've never done this on the show. I might as well try it just for fun. Go to LasVegasDiscount.net. Why, Andrew? Because they could save up to 50% on their next trip. When would their next trip be, Andrew? When would be the best next trip to Vegas? I know. Let's go for Cinco de Mayo weekend and go see Canelo Alvarez. I'll check in on Friday, and I will check out on Sunday like everybody else and drive home in all that traffic like a fucking moron and not stay till Monday. Because you're going to get drunk on Sunday anyway. You're going to make the drive out on Sunday dangerous. Don't be an asshole. Just saying that out loud for everybody. Did it not give me hotels that went straight to shows? Let's see. There we go. Search hotels. Let's search hotels for that big weekend trip. I'm going to save you guys 50% right now. Just go to lasvegasdiscount.net and open it up. And what do we got? Where are we staying, Andrew? Where would you like to look at that? The Luxor for $77 a night. That puts you right by the T-Mobile. That's a great deal. That's a great deal. 66% saving. I'm a 4-star kind of cat, Andrew, as you know. Much like yourself, as you stay in your
Vegas. Sounds like Vegas is hurting though.
No, they're not. Wait, I'll show you the real prices for the 5-star and the 4 stars. I stay at the 5-star hotels usually. I'm not trying to brag or anything. If I'm taking a date, it's going to be a 5-star. I can stay at the New York for $100 a night, 61% saving, Andrew. Good deal. Mandalay Bay's $178.
Yeah, a lot of these are I mean, $178. Yeah, that's
a great deal on Cinco de Mayo weekend. That's a steal. Bellagio $278. You're saving 35%. New York saves 61%, $100 a night. Puts you right in walking distance to T-Mobile for that fight. This is the best deal if you're going to the Canelo Alvarez fight. You should jump on this right the fuck now. Same thing with the Luxor. If you're a cheap ass, go stay at the Luxor. It's still walking distance to the fight. Ari is close, but ever since Willie worked on those and he told me
$78. Look at that.
Is that crazy? Well, that's downtown.
Oh, Golden Nugget. I thought that was Aria. Aria's $300. Wow.
Yeah, is that crazy?
Yeah, that's a pretty.
I can't stay at the Aria and Vidara anymore. Vidara's cheap at $168, but ever since Will told me he did the electrical on those and they were shitting and pissing down the walls when they went on.
No, they didn't.
That's what he said.
No, he did not.
Hard Rock's only $90. Park MGM, which is right there. That puts you right next to T-Mobile. $131, Andrew. Can't beat that shit. It's a good weekend to go. It's cheaper than staying at the Tropicana. It's better than staying at the Santa Fe. So stay right on the Strip. Stay right next to the fight. Go to lasvegasdiscount.net. Get ready for Canelo Alvarez, Daniel Jacobs. Lee, why so much lead up? Well, that's because this week was the Canelo Alvarez, Daniel Jacob face-to-face World Tour.
Hey, did you go to the tour? Did you go to my tour? We did a tour. There were shirts. Don't fuck with me, Andrew.
Mexico City, Canelo Alvarez. Oh, it's time for news of the week. Mexico City, Canelo Alvarez, WBC, WBA lineal. Why does he want to beat you up all the time? WBC, WBA. So, for those of you not following along on all the inside jokes, that was Oscar-de-la-Hoya by phone. Oscar is a very aggressive, allegedly drunk, cocaine-using boxing promoter who calls in from time to time and wants to beat up Andrew. And then we have Bob Arum, who is a very aggressive, drugging and womanizing old man. Now you're all caught up. Everybody's caught up on all the inside jokes.
Oh, yeah.
I know, it's funnier when you say it out loud, isn't it? Canelo Alvarez, Daniel Jacobs face-to-face in Mexico City. Canelo Alvarez 50-1-2 with 34 KOs. The WBC, WBA lineal and ring middleweight champion of the world. And Daniel the Miracle Man Jacobs. What a shitty, well, whatever. 35-2, 29 KOs, who is the IBF middleweight world champion. Completed the second stop of their 3-city press tour this past week. They went on 3 full days of interviews and pressing and worldwide tour. This one took them down to old Mexico. TV Azteca Studios in Mexico City. The 12-round unification fight will take place at the T-Mobile Arena on Saturday, May 4th, and will be streamed live on DAZN globally. And so the boys went out. The boys went and did press stuff. Oscar went and explained how great Canelo was. Eddie Hearn literally told Oscar to suck his dick or his boy wouldn't be making any money because of DAZN. And everybody was there, and he got lots of presents. They took photos. I don't know what's up with this Michael Jackson.
That's I'm rich.
No, this is like the Empire photo, right? Like I'm doing a TV show photo. Daniel Jacobs is the happiest man on the planet. I don't know if
he's all thank you, Jesus, for making me rich.
Right? So we have photos available if you want to go check it out. But there's a lot of press to come out of that. Let's start with Big Bad Eddie Hearn, who said, and I quote, "You can see a little bit of worry from Canelo de-la-Hoya. The stage is set for the middleweight unification title between Canelo Alvarez and Daniel Jacobs on May 4th in Las Vegas. Mexico's Alvarez, 28, is considered by many to be the best in the game today. His epic fight with Gennady Golovkin, a draw, and then a tight victory with a third meeting, a distinct possibility, are the most shining moments in the 51-2 record with 35 knockouts. He became a 3-division world champion by knocking out Rocky Fielding, who is now working on a milk truck, in 3 rounds to take the WBA regular super middleweight crown in December, but now moves back to where he probably belongs, and that's the middleweight division in the deepest and the strongest around. Jacobs, 32, is a logical foe. Good Lord, who wrote this? A press release, right? Man, this fucking wordy as shit. Let's just get to the quotes. We have to give a huge amount of credit to Canelo and Oscar and the team. They know how tough this fight is. You just see a little bit of worry. Isn't it great that we have a super fight? It isn't great that we have a moment in this sport when 2 great champions could come together, said Hearn. For a long time since we signed Daniel Jacobs, he told me 3 special words: bring me Canelo. And on May 4th, he will finally have his chance. I will have never been so confident in a 50-50 fight. It is? Question mark? I believe this young man walks with faith, and I believe on May 4th he will become the unified middleweight champion of the world. Faith is a wonderful thing, and when you combine it with talent, you can't beat it, said Eddie Hearn. Andrew, let's start, because I have more comments coming. Let's start with Eddie Hearn. Do you believe in any way, shape, or form that Daniel Jacobs is really his fighter of... Go, Daniel! Do you really believe that?
Yes. Sorry. This is a close fight. I believe this fight is going to be very close. What separates these two, Lee, is the chin factor. Daniel Jacobs in 12 rounds with Gennady Golovkin was dropped by a single punch. Saul Alvarez fought Gennady Golovkin for 24 rounds, never once touched the canvas. I think that's going to play into this fight. It's not a styles make fights thing. When you add in Dmitry Pirog putting Jacobs to sleep and Golovkin putting him down, at some point in this 12-round fight, I think Saul Alvarez is either the left hook or the uppercut, catches Daniel and drops him and gives him the 1-point lead in this fight as well. It still is going to be a very close fight. As you can see, Daniel Jacobs is a very big middleweight contender going up against Saul, who once again is looking up. What are we looking for?
We're doing betting odds. Yeah, I'm looking it up. I'm doing it while you stall.
Should have just did Las Vegas. Betting odds, Las Vegas, and it would have came up.
Okay. Let's see what we got. Jacobs, yada, 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 yada. Alvarez is a favorite, 2-5, and Jacobs is an underdog at 15-8. So, what is that? It's about 2. It's close. I mean, it's about a 3-1. Is a 3-1 favorite. Alvarez is about 3-1. It's not horrible.
No,
it's close. It'll get bet down when the fight gets closer, but it's close.
That's actually 2.5 to 1. So they have it closer because 5. It's 2 divided into 5, right? So it's 2.5. 2.5 to 1 is what that, right? That 2 to 5 is. Am I reading that correctly?
No, you're reading it correctly.
Okay. Or
2.5 to 1. It's just around 3 to 1. I think when you're talking about betting opening lines and things like that, they're going to adjust because so much money is going to go on Canelo that weekend.
And Jacobs, you're getting not only a little over $1.
No, Jacobs, you're getting $2.5. You're getting $2.5 to $1 on Jacobs. Canelo, if you bet on him, you're betting 15 to win 8. I don't even know what the math on that is.
That's what I said. Well, you gotta divide it.
Okay, let's see you do math. You're like.
I just told you. Jesus, I'm going to the other one though. You gave us dumb odds.
Are you?
I'm going
All
to
right.
the good
I'll
odds.
do the next comments while you look that shit up. All right. Laura had comments. Why would Laura have comments? Well, because Laura fought this weekend, and therefore he had a platform to talk. Because he thought he'd win his fight and be talking all kinds of mad shit about people in other divisions. Araceli Lara want what he feels. Oh, Keith. Oh, doesn't want what he feels. I thought I had Keith Eidick for the first time. Araceli Lara doesn't want what he feels happened to him, happened to Daniel Jacobs. That's why he advised Jacobs on Thursday to press for the knockout when he squares off against Canelo Alvarez on May 4th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. By the way, get your tickets at lasvegasdiscount.net for your trip, just as a plug. The Cuban southpaw swears nearly 5 years later that there is no way he lost an extremely competitive fight. Judges Dave Moretti, 115-113, Levi Martinez, 117-111, and scored for Alvarez, who lost 115-113 to Lara on the card to Judge Jerry Roth. Well, was it a closer fight than I thought it was, Andrew?
What?
I kind of remember the Lara Canelo fight. Why does he think it was so close? Did I miss something?
No, that was just everyone likes hating on Saul. I don't know. So whenever Saul's in a decision type victory, they got a bunch of guys that say he lost. In this fight, Lara did good, but I thought he ran from the decision. You see, in the end, was it in a body shot? I think he dropped. Did he drop? Saul drops Lara. No. Did he drop him or no?
Remember that.
All right, well, then it's a body shot that hurts him. But something happens in the middle of that fight, and it turns Lara into survival mode. And while he's not getting hit, he's doing a great job of nullifying Canelo's offense by, movement around the ring. He's not doing anything to win the rounds. And you know what these fucking Golden Boy judges are doing? They're giving Saul Alvarez rounds because he's coming forward. He looks like to be the aggressor, the guy throwing more punches. So I always left that fight with, I thought Lara ran from his decision victory. But I will say, if he would have stood there and fought Alvarez was hurting him to the body. I keep remembering body punches slowing Lara down, and I don't think he wanted any piece of that.
Well, the 35-year-old Lara, Andrew, said...
Because I think it's Trout, and I am wrong. I think he dropped Trout like in the 9th round. It wasn't Lara. I had the wrong fight on that. Go ahead, Lee.
That's okay.
And I have the odds by VegasInsider.com. Right now, Saul Alvarez is a minus 330.
Yeah, 3-1. He's 3-1. That's what I thought he was based on those numbers.
And then Daniel Jacobs is a plus 260.
260. So it's a 3-1 fight. It's a 3-1 fight. That's right where it is. I mean, plus 260 minus 330 is about 3-1. Either way, for anybody who's trying to get that square in their head.
Not a bad. I know.
Not enough for me to bet on Daniel Jacobs. Maybe if he were 10-1, I'd, drop a C note on him.
It's hard. Yes, because it is a gamble. I believe it's a gambler's bet. Jacobs hasn't shown enough. Wasn't he also dropped by Sergio Mora? We got to put that out there. Didn't Jacobs? Remember, he had to fight Mora twice, Lee.
Oh, good Lord. We're doing a deep dive on Lara. All right, hold on. Let's go to box.
On Jacobs. I believe Jacobs fights Mora twice, man, and that's not looking good on his resume going up against Saul Alvarez, who's one of the best in the world. Okay. So, 260, that's not enough. I know that he's got this.
You need to make it at least 5-1 for me to want to drop money on him. Look, I don't believe him. I don't believe Oscar's good. And I'm with Lara on this, right? To quote Lara, Danny Jacobs is a great fighter. Where is his quote? This is a great quote. I think he's got a hell of a shot to win in the fight. Obviously, Canelo's a great fighter himself. I don't think anyone stands a chance to win a decision in Las Vegas against Canelo Alvarez. Right. It's almost impossible to get a fair fight decision in Las Vegas. Period. For any fighter.
God.
I'm with him.
So gay. Is that Lara? That's Lara, right? The guy who got gifted. The guy who got gifted last night in America. The America he was bashing. President Trump sees that. You better watch out. No, I'm just kidding. What? Told you he had to fight Sergio Mora twice.
Hey,
Told you.
Hey, Harrison de Lara, if you're listening, you better shut the fuck up. I'm gonna fucking put a bullet in your head,
Why,
We don't need that shit in boxing.
why do you have him so mean?
Canelo, Andrew, hey,
Yes, Oscar.
hey, listen, I'm telling you straight, Canelo is the best. And he might be my only fighter too. So I am prepared to do anything to make that happen. And Lara better shut his fucking mouth. I'm gonna fucking put a bullet in him.
Yeah, Sergio Mora dropped. He dropped Daniel Jacobs in round 1 of their fight. So that's hard seeing
Daniel
the plus.
Jacobs is a bitch. I picked this fight.
You're so stupid. Your Oscar is getting really good though. He's the best. That totally sounded like Oscar.
Well, Daniel Jacobs had these fine words for us. I truly believe Golovkin can beat Canelo in both. Jacob said, I truly believe Golovkin can beat Canelo in both fights. Okay, good. Why don't we piss off Canelo? Good call, Daniel. Jacob clarified that he wasn't at least bit satisfied simply lasting 12 rounds against an opponent that had knocked out 89% of his opponents. Blah, 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 blah. Where are your quotes? In my honest opinion, I truly believe Golovkin won both fights, Jacob said at the Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square. The second fight was a lot closer, and I take my hat off to Canelo for adjusting. But I still don't think that he won. Let's see. My stuff's in the way. Let me move this. Hold on. Can't read shit. There we go. I think, at the very least, it could have been a draw. The second fight, but both fights, I picked Golovkin winning. All right. Good for you. I don't know why you didn't talk about this fight and why you gave him shit about Triple G. I mean, he's going to make more money. I mean, I could see if he was leveraging this into a move where he goes, that's why I think he's winnable or pickable or Daniel Jacobs talks like a guy who just got the lottery win and he's just got to go through the motions to get through this shit.
And some of those pictures kind of prove that. He looks like a very happy young man right now. He's getting paid. Lee, this is a guy who barely beat Ishii Smith, okay? It was 96-93, but 1 point was deducted from Smith in that fight. You just keep going down. He's knocked out by Dmitry Pirog. He's dropped by Sergio Mora. He's dropped by Gennady Golovkin. Then his after Golovkin, you have Luis Arias. I mean, we talked about them being undefeated, but you also brought up the fact of who were they, right? Bunch of no names. So yes, he has to be a little bit happy. I do have to say though, you got to remind people, this is the fight everyone wanted. Jacobs versus, we can't knock Canelo for taking Jacobs because the fight fans demanded this one. So this is still the guy who went 12 rounds with Golovkin before Canelo did, and people thought that was a very close fight. So, I know why he got this shot. I don't understand the plus 260. I don't see them getting any bets on that. They need to pick that up because anyone who watches boxing would have Jacobs a little bit lower than that at plus 260. Can't just go off of size. You got to go off of what's also on the resume. And right now, Jacobs has a very suspect chin. Very suspect.
Hey, Andrew, you want spoilers, You want some bitchin' ass spoilers?
What's that?
I'm gonna give you spoilers.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't fucking laugh at me. Don't fucking laugh at me, or I will fucking kill you. Okay?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to give you spoilers, Here we go. Spoiler number 1. I'm going to be fucked up at the press conference. You want to bet on that one? You've seen it before, haven't you, Andrew? You talked about it. That's why I want to fucking kick your ass. All right. Spoiler number 2. Phantom kidney shot. I have been personally training Daniel Jacobs how to grab and hit the mat correctly and utter those famous words. There you go. Aren't you happy now, Andrew?
That's it? That's all I got for that?
Very good.
You know what? You know how hard it is? I'm going to say this again for everybody who goes, oh, that's cheap and corny. You know how hard it is to write comedy on the fly for you fucks about boxing? Look, it's one thing to make Andrew laugh. I got to literally make 10 other people laugh too. I don't know how many people figure it out. Let's move on to other news. I think that's enough Daniel Jacobs Canelo talk while they go to their training camp.
I know. I straight talked myself out of that fight. Damn it! Now I'm a little upset about that. Jacobs don't look good anymore on paper.
Why aren't you going, dude? There's the boxing expo on Saturday, where Will brings his son and stands in line. I don't even understand that, bro. Yeah, why aren't you? You'll have another. When's the baby due?
I got June 10th.
Yeah, you should be able to come. Yeah, try that one out.
Yeah.
Go in the other room and ask. Just my personal
You're so stupid.
So I can hear the yelling all the way from that room to this room.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
She was already mad I'm doing a show. She knows I do one every Sunday. She's still mad.
Right. Go rub her feet, bastard. Frank Warren. This happened earlier in the week. Frank Warren explains the reason for, I'm going to read this and why this is hilarious. Frank Warren explains the reasons for Fury's interim Wilder delay, right? Who's the article written by? Frank Warren. This is an interview. Frank Warren wrote this, and I'm going to put that. I perfectly understand why there has been a certain amount of handwriting amongst boxing fans over the decision to temporarily abort the planned rematch between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Fans rightly want to see the best fight and the best at the optimum time, as does everybody else in the business. But that is what it is, a business. And our new broadcast and promotional partner in the U.S. wants to maximize the potential of what is a great heavyweight showdown by placing it later in the year. Nobody is avoiding anybody. This is the fight Tyson wants, and we want the occasion. Wow, it's just a tough read. We want, and the occasion won't suffer from being shifted from May to June to the autumn. The magnitude of such an epic showdown will only increase. ESPN,
Wait. Now you see Tyson Fury's face?
Yeah.
He has that's such bullshit written all over that smile, right? That's what I think about this whole statement. Maximize the deal. Fuck out of here.
ESPN, who have made a significant investment to join the heavyweight party, along with U.S. co-promotional partner Top Rank, want to stage an interim fight for Tyson in order to introduce him to the new platform and the audience, as well as increasing his exposure stateside. It was something that we discussed when we signed to align with Tyson with ESPN, and I fully accept and acknowledge the logic behind the move. Our original and well-documented intention was to head straight into a rematch, but the goalposts have moved with strengthening of Tyson's hand by linking up with such a major U.S. player, and the strategy has been altered. ESPN is viewed by 85 million homes across the United States, which is an incredible reach to create awareness of Tyson's personality and boxing prowess. He will have ample opportunity to engage his new audience when Wilder rematch is ultimately broadcasted on ESPN pay-per-view. The numbers and revenue. Wow, that's a bold statement right there. It's going to be on ESPN pay-per-view, not Showtime pay-per-view. Again, if I was Steven Espinosa, I'm fucking rolling over at Showtime. Like it or not, at the end of the day, the fighters want to be paid well because it's a dangerous fight for both of them, and they obviously will want to maximize their earnings. So that is the thinking behind this move, and I am fully on board with it. I wouldn't do Wilder any harm either, and he too can build on the increased interest in his talent generated from the fight. I'll translate that from everybody. I'm going to make more money this way.
Don't be scared, Deontay. They're not gonna hurt you. Come play with us.
Yeah.
You can come to our. Yeah, you could come to our playground. He's steady. He doesn't know. He's very nervous over there. Like, he'll have El Heyman as his advisor, manager, whatever, but Heyman don't really come with you to all these other events and stuff. And I know that's what's holding up Deontay right now. That's why he says he wants to stay loyal, because he feels comfortable in the Showtime offices, in the pay-per-views, and the fights that are put on by the PBC. You step away from all that, you're out of your comfort zone now. Now you don't know if the judges are on your side. Is Suleiman got him? Is he sitting behind the judge that's rigging the fight for you?
Allegedly. Keep it straight.
Oh, bullshit. What did that judge had that fight? What was it? He had fucking Deontay winning without even the knockdown in the 12th?
Yeah, no, he didn't score that. He didn't score that. Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
He didn't even need the knockdown on that one judge's card that's sitting right to the side of Suleiman. Fuck.
There you guys go. For those of you that are still keeping an eye on the heavyweight division at this point, that takes us over to additional news of the week. Vitor Belfort, many of you may know him from the UFC, unretires from mixed martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and everything else, and challenges Roy Jones Jr. to a boxing match. Earlier this week, Brazilian mixed martial artist, the living legend, Vitor the Phenom Belfort, came out of retirement and signed a promotional agreement with Asian mixed martial arts company One Championship. They have a lot of money, Andrew. And Belfort, shockingly, is the latest MMA star to call for a cross-sport boxing match with well-known boxer, former 4-division champion Roy Jones Jr. For several years, UFC legend Anderson Silva was pushing for a boxing match with Jones, but UFC president Dana White was very reluctant to allow that bout from happening. Back in 2017, the biggest, most financial lucrative cross-sport promotion with Floyd Mayweather taking on Conor McGregor. This is what Belfort had to say. One fight I'd really love is me against Roy Jones Jr. Roy, wherever you are, I want to come challenge you to a boxing match, but with this condition. I'm going to be able to dirty box with you. Okay. Where does Roy sign up for that? Russia? I realize Roy takes some questionable fights at best in some questionable countries for questionable people for millions of dollars. Did I outline all of his Russian fights quite well right there?
Isn't he even a citizen of Russia? Didn't they make him a citizen?
Stop it. Got to put his money somewhere. Almost broke into Oscar. Shut up, eh? Yeah, Andrew, you excited about Vitor Belfort?
No, it's very sad. I don't know what's going on in the MMA world with all this calling out of boxing. They're not even calling them out.
It's a one-time pop where these guys can make $1 million.
Oh, I get all that, dude. But stay in your own lane. You know what I mean? Call out somebody from the MMA world.
Let's go to Macau. They're not going to check our juice.
Call out Anderson Silva. Why ain't he calling out him? Call out fucking.
He's got an active career in the UFC, and
call the other guy. Call out the other guy that just retired. I don't know. Stay away from boxing, dude.
So I watched UFC last night. It brings up an interesting point, Andrew. So I watched UFC last night, right? So we are at a point in the UFC where you can't wear your own shorts. You've got to wear the Reebok shorts that they give you.
Hey, it finally happened. There you go.
Right? You can't wear your sponsors on your shorts. You can't walk in with the sponsor team banner. You do exactly what Dana says. You wear what Dana says. You use the cut men that are provided for you, so there's no fucking hanky business in the fight. Like, it's a completely capped down, just two guys go in, Dana makes all the money, you get paid what you get paid. I don't want to understand the pay structure with the UFC at all or how they do their shit, right? The reason I say that, can you imagine if PBC decided to go with that format? Like, the fighters had to wear just two different color pre-sponsored, right? No more Tampico.
They couldn't design.
No more Shoe Palace. No more Bovada shorts, right?
Yum Donuts, or was it?
Yum Donut. Tampico's still the best. Tampico is by far the best sponsor I've seen at a fight.
Or the oil. What's that oil one? There's an oil company. There's
an oil company, and there are two industrial companies if you watch the international stuff. I'm like, what does a boxing crowd need an industrial drilling company? Like, why don't you just say you're laundering money through this match? I mean, I get it, because who was I talking to about this? I was talking to my friend and coach on this topic, and I said, boxing's really weird on one particular topic. They pay a lot of money for certain guys. They get really weird sponsors. And mathematically, when I break down these fights at the end from a political level, there's no way that the money that went into this fight made any fucking sense in the world on the other end. Like, it didn't generate money correctly on the other end. And my final analysis, based on the sponsors and everything, nobody's going to like this. Boxing is a front for laundering money. There, I said it. I said it out loud, Andrew. Probably going to get a bullet in my head from Oscar. Especially when you're fighting like Roy Jones in Russia against nobody.
I remember when Vitor Belfort came out. He was under the age of 18, fighting in the MMA. He had very fast hands. I remember his fight with Tank Abbott. He was described as an amateur boxing star out there. That was so long ago, and his career stalled so long ago. Hasn't he been popped for steroids many times?
Everybody has, Andrew. Get on board.
I didn't know that. I'm just talking about Vitor Belfort was once described as the new face of the UFC, and then he just fucking falls out of nowhere. I don't even know where this challenge comes from. It seems like he was drunk at some bar and just decided to try to make some. Look at that record. I mean, go back. Go just 26-14. 26-4. At least in boxing, when you have 14 losses, you have, like, I don't know, 80 to 100 and something wins attached.
What's Roy up to? Roy's up to 5 or 6 losses at this point, isn't he?
Yeah, but he probably has, what, 50 something wins, 60 wins? I mean, Lee, 24 and fucking 16. Are you serious right now? I mean, yeah. And that was the guy that he called the face.
Yeah, he hasn't won in a while. He lost to Machida in 2018. He beat Nate Marquardt, who's 150 years old, in June 2017. He lost to Gasol.
I mean, you can go so far back. That's
Mousasi. He lost to Mousasi Gergard. He lost to Susan.
He beat Henderson.
He beat Dan Henderson in 2015. That's crazy. Where are we? There we go. He beat Henderson twice, actually. That's interesting. In 2013. Keep making him fight older guys. He beat Luke Rockhold. That's pretty impressive by knockout. This is 2013, by the way. We've at least rewound 6 years on his career at this point. Jones beat him. He beat Rumble Johnson. Let's see how far back this UFC record goes. He beat Akiyama. Silva beat him. He beat Rich Franklin. Now we're in 2009. Tito Ortiz beat him. Randy Couture beat him. He beat Randy Couture. Good Lord, we're in 2004 at this point.
Bro, he goes back to the first UFC.
There it is. Liddell beat him. He beat Anderson Silva in 1998. We're at 98 now.
Why should this dude even need money? There's Tank right there.
There's the fight you were talking about. He beat Abbott in 1997, Andrew.
Yeah.
When does his career start? Was he at UFC 1? I don't know anybody previous to that, but this 97 Tank Abbott thing is crazy. 12 years ago. In 52 seconds, I might add.
That's 20. That's 22 years ago, bro.
Is it
97? 1997.
Good math. Good math there. That's why you have a real job and I don't.
You know what, though? If you look at those fights, I mean, Lee, those are against legends. Why is this dude hurting for money?
Because he fought for the UFC.
Are you serious? Like, the Dan Henderson things weren't decent paydays?
Actually, the Machida thing should have been a decent payday in 2018. I'll go through it. Nate Marquardt was a name that should have been a payday. Gastelum, no.
Anderson Silva?
Mousasi was on the rise, so that should have been a payday. I don't know about Jacare Souza, but Henderson, Rockhold, Bisbee.
What the fuck? Jones?
John Jones, that would have been a title fight,
Oh my
probably
gosh.
by then. Johnson would have been a payday. Anderson Silva, again, would have been a payday. Franklin in 2009, I don't think would have been that interesting. That would have been low on the card. Tito Ortiz Belfort should have been a payday. Couture should have been a payday. Couture should have been a payday. I don't think anybody cares about Eastman. Chuck should have been a payday. Silva should have been a payday. I mean, at the very least, Vitor Belfort's net worth, my guess, at this moment, should be about $5 million. Should be.
And if you notice, they have a big gap. 2011.
5.5. I'm right.
Nice.
Yeah. Based on what I was.
Why does he need another fight, dude? Go to retirement. Stop it. He must owe money to somebody. I don't know why he's calling out Roy Jones.
Right. You need to be like Dan Henderson, live in Temecula under a rock, open a gym, and enjoy your money.
Yeah.
Get yourself a hot ass wife and slow down. Slow down, bro. Slow down. What's Roy Jones' net worth? He keeps fighting. Roy should be worth at least 15, right?
I would say, yeah, if not more. I was going to say around 30. 120. Woo!
Jesus Christ, why is he still fighting?
I know. What the fuck's wrong with him?
Buy yourself a couple of cocks.
Damn.
Right? Get a couple of cocks.
Hey, remember, he was a very humble champion. Remember that? He lived on a farm. You never seen Roy with the dumb cars or the stupid jewelry. His father, and even though he's very tough on him, made him a very humble young man, and that's probably why he still has a lot of his money today.
Plus, he had an HBO deal, so that probably gets paid out for the length of his contract, right? They can't just say, well, we're not doing boxing, so you don't get paid. I don't think it was fight to fight. I think he has at least a couple of years left on that deal. That's usually the way that works. Plus whatever payoff they had at the end so he doesn't go into the media and shit all over him. I guarantee he signed a gag order on some level for 2 years. So
I don't know. Was he that?
Oh no, I straight. Okay, so HBO goes belly up. You got Lampley, you got Max, and you got Roy, right? Those are your three real faces for HBO. We're going to pay you the remainder of your contracts. You can go do whatever you want, but you can't talk about HBO for the next 2 years. I guarantee that happened. That's good business, Andrew.
Maybe. I don't know.
Max has got a platform on ESPN. I realize it's on ESPN2, which, based on the math, nobody's watching anyway. But he could say controversial things about HBO, and it would make HBO look very bad. He hasn't said boo about leaving HBO. You know why? Because the fucker's got a gag order and he's getting paid.
Yeah. Probably.
It would have made huge news, Andrew, if Kellerman got right onto ESPN and started shitting on HBO. Would have made huge news.
Well, that's good. He still got money.
Well, in theory. But I digress. Let's move on to our next story. De La Hoya. Since he's been out in the public and talking about his fighter, Canelo versus Munguia is a natural fight of the future. A few days ago, Mexican superstar Saúl Canelo Alvarez started he's no longer in favor of facing another opponent from Mexico. However, he also left the door open to a fight in the future against WBO junior middleweight champion Jaime Munguia, who is being groomed as a potential Canelo opponent. No fucking way. No fucking way. Golden Boy promoter Oscar-de-la-Hoya, who promotes both Canelo and Munguia, believes the fight is a natural for the future. Oscar had this to say.
The fight is very possible, right? Like the fact that Munguia is young, he is growing, and he's learning as a champion at 154. He's loved by millions of people. I mean, it completely makes sense. He's a warrior, a fighter. He's a natural fighter, Andrew. Seriously.
You're doing good.
In time, Canelo is at another level. Come on, Munguia has to reach that level. Do you want me to translate that shit for you? Do you? Munguia hasn't made me enough fucking cash yet, bitch. start earning some fucking cash against some names. Then I will let you fight Canelo, who will probably be like 40 pounds heavier than you. And I'll cash your ass out. Unless Canelo fucking loses, then I'll make him lose all kinds of weight, and I'll put Jaime in with him. And Jaime will get all the fucking pop. Who wins in all this, Andrew? Who wins?
I think you do, Oscar.
That's right, What's that mean I can buy more of? Hookers and cocaine. That's all I'm about. I'm not about.
Look,
I am not AB. I am not AB, Andrew. I am not AB. Get it right. I'm not about the billions. I am about the AC. I need it cool in my house. I'm all about the cocaine.
Thank you. On the fly, touchdown.
You're right about
somebody's crashing a car on that one. That was really good shit. Yeah, go ahead.
This fight is not on the same timeline unless Canelo falls there, and that's by losing. I don't.
This is win-win for Oscar. Oscar's leaving the door open because he can do two things here, right? You can let Canelo be a bigger guy, do it at a catch weight, and he destroys Jaime because he fucking falters or gets a bad decision or his viewership rate goes down, right? DAZN will jump right on it anyway because it's a good-looking fight. But if it goes the other way and Jaime's on the climb and Canelo fucking falters a little, goes the distance, here's all he has to do. Go the distance with Jacobs and gets beat by Triple G.
If he wins, he keeps fighting Billy Joe Saunders, Chris Eubank Jr., Triple G. He fights all of these guys to make money with DAZN.
I think Canelo has to look good in all this too.
No. They would not get off the money train. He's a money train as long as the W's keep coming. They don't give a shit if every win's a split decision victory. That doesn't matter. But if he loses, you got to look at his record already. Whoa, 1 loss, 2 draws? That already looks ugly. Now you're going to be 2-2? Ugh. Munguy's undefeated. Looks a lot better. That's when you start going, you know what? I don't know. Maybe out with the old, in with the new. Then you do a matchup. But right now, Canelo's on top of the world. You just got to keep winning. Win. This fight is never on the same timeline. Lose, all of a sudden, Oscar starts thinking Munguia is the better fighter because his record looks better.
There you go.
You're going to start hearing him start saying, well, you know, that fight with Trout and the fight with Lara were very close, right? I mean, there's easily people out there who think Saul Alvarez is 4 losses, 2 draws on his record right now.
Hey, Andrew?
I'm just putting it out there.
Hey.
Or 3 losses, excuse me.
What's
3
the
losses.
fucking record, What's the fucking record? What's the record? Say it.
I don't know.
Say it, bitch.
Calm yourself.
Say it. Say his fucking record. You know you'll be watching on Cinco de Mayo weekend. Don't fuck around.
No, I will watch. No, he's a great kid. He's a great fighter. But this fight isn't going to get made unless Canelo loses his cash cow status. I'm sorry. You're not going to put – if Munguia – and he's in a division right now that doesn't even have. You know what, Lee? To be honest with you, if I'm Lara, I'm looking at getting a phone call from Oscar de la Hoya here at any moment because Munguia probably defeats Lara today. Okay, Jaime Munguia punches way too much and he's too heavy-handed. Lara cannot keep these younger guys off of him no more. It doesn't work. We've seen it twice, back to back. Her did it, Castano did it, but they didn't do it convincingly, right? They didn't do enough to make you go, oh, yeah. Even though the highlights of that 12th round, Lara didn't look good in Hurd last night. Man, he looked beat up. He looked beat up at the end of that fight. But if I'm Oscar, I'm giving Lara a shout out, seeing what his contract is with PBC, the network, and seeing if he can get him out of there to get a fight with Jaime Munguia. That's an excellent, excellent fight for Jaime Munguia this early in his career.
Sounds like you're bad-mouthing him, Andrew. I don't want you to piss off Oscar. You know, he's very edgy lately. Not getting the paid AC. Oscar is
I wish I knew these guys is because it really comes down to what their It doesn't even matter about Al Heyman anymore. Forget Al Heyman's a advisor. Great. Their money speaks over Al Heyman's what his thoughts are. These fighters are not going to be paying attention to, no, we need to do this in your career when you have companies out there that are guaranteeing you solid money. So it really doesn't matter about him. It matters what his contract is to Showtime and the PBC. If it's one fight away or if he's a free agent, you snatch him away. Snatch him away with the new funds that boxing seems to have. And Lara wouldn't get a big deal, but he probably gets a better deal right now to fight Munguia than Jarrett Hurd or a rematch of Castano last night. Come on, you know these two didn't get paid last night.
Excuse me, Andrew? Can we talk about me for just a minute? Is that okay?
Oh, is this Manny's? I thought we're still doing Oscar. Is this Manny?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Pacquiao, you're so sad. Go ahead.
Hello, Andrew. I am calling you from the Philippines. Did you know that I am a major general and a president, and I like executing drug dealers? Very exciting.
His voice is really hard to do after doing Oscars. Really hard.
Okay.
He sounds like Lodka, like the dude from Taxi. Thank you very much. Manny Pacquiao decided to allow son to follow boxing dream. The Filipino legend, who has 8 world titles from a different weight division, said he could not stand the prospect of seeing his son Emmanuel Jr. getting hurt. I said to him, boxing is tough. The training is tough. Everything is tough. But he said, Daddy, boxing is my passion. Pacquiao 40 told rapper. I said, son, that's my line. You are copying my line. That is saying the teenager's words softened his stance. Then Hemul told her, Mummy, you're killing my dream. So what can we do? We just let him, he added. He is training every day. I see him in the room watching my fights in TV. Is this really the way?
There you go. And that made there you go. You should make
He's watching my fights in TV. He's watching my fights in TV almost
Fuck it, that would prove to me that he's a professional. He's watching his
It
fights.
pains me because I know how hard boxing is. I can't stand to see my son getting beaten. It's okay if I am the one who will be beaten.
No, Manny. No. Screw all this. Screw all this, you guys. I already know. Manny needs to give his son a little reality check and not pay off the next opponent, right? Say, okay, you want to know how boxing is? I'm not going to pay the guy off to take a dive for you. Fucking fight. And let's see where his son goes after that. Because I'm going to tell you, in his first fight, totally looked like he was fighting a punching bag. You know damn well that dude did not want to hurt Manny Pacquiao's son. So,
get it straight in your head. He didn't want a bullet in his head, Andrew. That's
probably get caught with a little dime bag on him. And that's it. Off to execution.
Whatever. Got to do what it takes to get the son over, right?
This kid needs a reality check.
I see the payday here. Pacquiao versus Pacquiao live on pay-per-view.
No, boxing's my passion. Yeah, it's your passion because you're